Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Drink with
Mary.
and Meena. It's a cold day today.
Yeah, put my phone on silent. Sorry.
Wow.
It's a cold day.
It's a cold day today. I think it's been raining for a little while. What, 2-3 days now?
2-3 days. I actually like this weather.
A week actually.
Yeah, but very like cats and dogs. It's been like
Yeah.
few days.
I love the thunders.
Oh my god.
It was so nice.
I used to be scared of thunderstorms at night, Boila. Like
Oh.
I literally needed someone to sleep with me. Yeah, I
Oh.
literally panic that I've become a big girl in the past few years. So actually, I find peace
Really?
in that now. I'm just like,
Really?
yeah, this is good.
Sorry, I've just finished night shift. It was a very tiring night shift, so excuse me if I yawn a few times in this podcast.
We've got a delicious board of bakeries. On more, if you're watching, just switch away.
Yeah.
This is your cue.
Excuse me, Anmol can't say anything. My vagina is leaking, so my stomach will get what it wants, and it wants chocolate croissant
To
and
be fair,
custard tart.
my vagina is. I haven't had a good period this
Needs
month,
to leak.
so it's just been like spotting my I guess.
Oh.
But then it's been over a week, so excuse me.
That's your period.
That's my period. So we got a
Cheers.
cup of tea today. English cup of tea.
Oof. Because we're going to be talking about very English topic, I guess.
Britishness. We should have had biscuits, not croissant.
Oh my god,
right?
biscuits.
But then they sort of colonized. So
Oh, are we already starting now?
we're just heading there.
Yeah. There are apparently, so basically, obviously, we were talking about British things. We're definitely talking about monarchy today because,
Queen just
God
passed
bless,
away.
the Queen just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really sorry, I mean, we're not big media, but apparently, usually in England, there should be like a 10 days mourning period
yeah.
where medias are not allowed to, I guess, not say much, or, institutions are not allowed to say much. But I don't think we matter that much, to be honest.
But, I mean, we're not that big. Like, our scale is not that big. I mean, we are broadcasts. Yeah, we are aware of that. But it's not to the scale that, I don't know, it's just going to go viral overnight. I mean, if it was, someone got something. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. There are apparently the whole week of, the thunder and lightning and all that. Apparently they're saying, because the Queen was passing away, the skies were crying and, opening up and all that. And I was like, I mean, somebody would have made something out of it.
I mean, I'm a spiritual person, don't get me wrong, but deal with that boy at this point. Really. On the Queen passing away and everything, and the news are covering. Did you see this man who was drunk, and then
What?
so BBC One called this person to interview her.
Oh.
And
What about the passing away?
so
Queen's
basically,
death,
the reporter was like, the journalist was like, so. What, like, why are you here type scare? And this man is like, so basically I was home after a work due and after drinks. I saw you there, 5 minutes walk, that's why I'm here. So he didn't know. He had no clue in the world that the Queen had passed away. And he
just saw the media and just came.
Yeah, so he just saw her. He was like, I saw you actually. So I saw you just 5 minutes walk away, so I just thought I'd come. This is like next level stalkerish. But not the right time, okay? And then the reporter when he came on, okay.
It's like awkward. How do I break the news to this man?
Exactly. Oh man, it was just hilarious. But it was one of those.
So those memes हुन्छ नि क्या नेपालीले केही देख्न पाउँदैन जम्मा भइहाल्छ नि हो
Yeah, well, literally same.
It's like that everywhere, है?
I feel like a lot of Nepalese people, they have because obviously their parents served the Queen, right? Like dads or
military.
Military background, they felt quite, it's like, she was my boss type of, because technically she was, I know. Some of them have apparently shaved their head. Some of them have said Monun Khanna
Oh,
to mourn the Queen.
what?
Nepalese soldiers.
Nepalese,
Yeah.
UK Nepalese community.
Yeah. Nepalese soldiers.
Ooh,
So
that's some
it's some
dedication.
Patriarchy.
Patriarchy, monarchy.
Monarchies. Like, they're devoted people. And I was like,
Oh,
interesting.
damn.
Because my mom told me this morning, actually. Thanks, mom, for the information. She was like, some people have actually done that.
Oh my god, that's interesting,
That's quite interesting. When Nepalco kings, they had the Royal Massacre. I remember my granddad, he shaved his head as well.
Oh, but the
Yeah.
thing is, your granddad had like a very close connection with the royal
yeah,
family, isn't
definitely,
he?
yeah.
He was there serving them.
Yeah, I didn't get any benefits by it before you come at it. Like, there was nothing. He used to work for them. That's it. There was nothing like, are you related? Blood? No, nothing. Before the rumors even start, he used to work for them for basically all his career. So that's where it came from. So he felt like they were family. He saw the princesses grow up and everything. So yeah,
He probably raised them as well, so to some extent. The nannies raised them, but he was heavily involved.
Yeah, so he basically traveled the world with them as well. Everywhere when they went, he went.
Nice.
So
That's why your granddad was so. He was so exposed to so many different things that he was so open-minded as well.
Yeah, bro was just intense though. So apparently, when we went to Scotland, he went with the royals back in the time, to this Edinburgh wool factory. So they made like tartan clothes. He took us there out of memory. It wasn't even us. He took us there out of his memory, and that was like, let's say 50 years ago.
Yeah.
We were just like, bro, how do you remember this? So he had to buy the same outfit. Well, they tweet cloth, so he just won it from there. Man of expensive taste, I tell you. 40 meter cloth was like £250 for him. So he made a coat out of it in Nepal because he was like, he didn't trust the tailors here. So it's just crazy. But anyway, we're drifting away again.
So it's safe to say that your granddad is a monarchist, basically.
Oh, he's hardcore. He is hardcore. I think my whole entire family is. I'm a bit on the fence, let's say, because
you had to be.
Of course, like I'm the child in the family no one wanted. I'm a bit on the fence because I agree to some extent, but I don't to some extent as well, because it's very like how do you say it, following the sheep trend.
Yeah.
So my family is a huge monarchist. So when the Queen passed away as well, my parents have all been all over the news. The news is just BBC, like every single thing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it makes sense that my dad served the Queen, and my mom has the whole monarch background as well. So it kind of makes sense. But to me, I'm just like, okay. So how did you feel when the Queen passed away?
This funny actually. When she met with Liz Truss. She
Liz.
She looked horrible. Yeah, the Queen looked horrible, and Diwas's dad and I were like, "Oh my God, she looks like she can die any second."
Yeah.
And then 2 days later that happens, and I was like, "Oh shit," So I hate because she didn't travel down for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister had to travel up. I think she was already on her way out. I think they just literally, she probably just had some kind of energy to just film that part.
And the fact that she didn't even attend the whole ceremony, she had a Zoom marker. And that's not Queen. Like, Queen literally pulls through everything,
Yeah. But on a side note though, at 96, she didn't have dementia.
They do. Because she was born in the royals, bro. She never had to go through like head injury or trauma or nothing.
I think Prince Philip had it though. He was not even allowed around public when he was like old.
Maybe she gave the stress to him, so he got backlash. Second hand.
Oh my God. For me, I don't think I'm either monarchist or not. Okay? Like, I never had any opinion on whether they should be, they shouldn't be. I was just didn't really mind them. But I was doing some research on, because I've met few people in my life like few British people who probably were against monarchy, and they were like, oh, why do we really need monarchy or royal family in the UK anymore? Type go manchira, no? And I think one of the main reasons they were saying was that because, oh, we're funding them, like we're taxpayers' money and all that. But I was like, I was doing some research last night, but it, I think royal family brings in more money than they actually get given from the taxpayers.
Because their pay actually sachi banne. It's not, I mean, it's a lot. If you compare to an average British person, yeah, of course. But it's not a lot if you think about like the royals and the goddess. I feel like you had it worse in Nepal.
Oh,
like
God.
when the royals were there.
Yeah, there was no transparency.
There's no transparency. It was just they knew the rich was rich, the poor was poor. And I think it was just like King Birendra Singh that they gave so much out to the public, but after that it was just sort of like, where did the money go?
Yeah.
So like I guess there is always, every time there's politics involved or anything involved, there's always going to be like the grey areas, yeah. Like no matter whoever comes, be it the king, queen, or just any politicians, right?
Yeah, the royal family, I think they, according to my research, and I don't know how much of it is from trusted sources, that they weren't transparent for a little while there. No? I think in the last 10 years or so, what happened was that they had an agreement with the parliament, and they were to be given what they call it, basically their sovereign grant ones, I guess. So sovereign grant is what they use for like to pay for the royal family staffs, for the upkeep of the residences, and for their travels, for their royal visits. Because royal family members, full-time royal family members are not really allowed to have another job, Nita, so they wouldn't have any other income. So they're not allowed to have any other income apart from and then so they get sovereign grant every year, which is I think about 37 million this year or last year, but that was agreed in return for royal family to surrender all their profits from their private incomes, okay? So basically, whatever the private income on estate crown property 25% of that is given back to them as a sovereign grant, right? So it kind of basically
makes sense,
but also they have their own private investments, which is not taxable. It's not taxable that a queen, or let's say they used to voluntarily pay tax rates, okay? But that was because of like public backlash about a lot of things happened in the Paila.
And such about it. If you like really look into like all these millionaires and billionaires, do they really pay all of it? Like, but who has the time to actually look into it? Because if you're gonna expose a billionaire, like you best believe you're dead at that day. So
the ones who can actually afford to pay tax,
exactly,
don't pay it.
Exactly.
It's really annoying.
Oh my god, tax one, today, because obviously I work away from home quite a lot, right? So I came home, my mom was like, "There as a HM revenue." When it's brown letter, brown envelope, you just know it's like scary. I opened it like this.
I hope it's tax return.
I kid you not. No, I didn't owe anybody nothing. That's a good news. Yeah. When you don't owe no one nothing, that's still a good news than owing anyone anything. A tax return would be great, but it's fine. It's been taxed properly. You've done your job, HM Revenue. First time. It was jokes when I got last year £10 back.
I mean, £10 is still £10.
I know, but
it's almost a picture at Weatherspoons. Like,
that is true. But you
you
add
expect
a zero.
Something big. Yeah, you expect something big, and there's like 10
add a
quid.
zero. Add two more zeros.
Oh, funny.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, but I think anyway, I was reading up on it, and I think I love how we have different topics come into this podcast, and I do go and research, and then my knowledge just goes up and up. Okay, I like how we're addressing so many issues because I'm learning at the same time. Right? Because royal family is more or less like a corporation itself.
Yeah.
I mean, their estates and everything earn a lot of profit for the parliament, and
like, for example, like Windsor, I know. so many visitors come every year, not just the British public, but
Mm.
everyone across the world because they know Queen resides there. Basically, you know.
Mm.
Buckingham Palace with the Thobra Matre announced, the Guard Matre announced. Do you know, like, it's just things that they come to all the way to see. Because let's be honest.
Excuse me, madam, do you know the story behind Windsor and Buckingham Palace?
No,
Admission and all
enlighten me,
that.
please.
So basically, I was watching this documentary about the fire at the Windsor Castle. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Before the fire at the Windsor Castle, those palaces were not open to public neither. And their upkeep and everything was being paid by taxpayers and everything. And you know, a lot of backlashes were happening regarding Diana, like, and Diana divorce, and about 3 senior members of the royal family got divorced that year. Okay? That's why the Queen described it as a horrible year. And then Windsor Castle fire happened, right? And it was horrible. So what they were saying was Windsor Castle to be restored. There was so much resources put into putting that fire out. Okay?
Yeah.
And the restoration project for the Windsor Castle was estimated to be about 70 million pounds.
Bloody hell.
And in that year, Diana and Prince Charles divorced. And Princess Anne divorced. Like, there was a lot of backlash
Expensive,
like, the image of royal family on the public was not good that year. And on top of that, they expecting taxpayers to pay for this 70 million restoration project. Public was not having it. That's why the Queen introduced this whole, okay, we're gonna open up Windsor, we're gonna open up Buckingham to the palace, to the public. We're gonna charge admission fees, and that is gonna fund the restoration of the Windsor Castle, and Buckingham Palace. That's when it was opened up. If the public had not said anything, if the public had not had any backlash towards them, I think that would have come out of
our pockets.
Yeah, taxpayers' money.
Technically still, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, half of them are visitors.
Yeah.
So come
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, the British taxpayers were not having it. Okay, so
That's crazy because I'm pretty sure there were like some sort of those writings and scriptings in Windsor Castle. I've been there twice, by the way. Don't ask me how do I not know this information.
Yeah.
I just get distracted too easily. Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, like the amount of resources that was, a lot of public were helping out as well. Okay, like, because everything that's in the castle, the old historical valuables and everything, they are too valuable to be insured. Okay, so it's not really insured.
Yeah.
So they had to save all that. So a lot of public went, like members of the public, as in the fire brigades and everything. A lot of people helped out, and can you imagine, imagine thousands of pieces of art pieces that had to be moved while the fire was raging. One carpet was like 37 meters long.
Oh my
Like
God.
those carpets had to be removed. Like a lot was happening. Like, and on top of that, asking British players to pay up, like, cough up 70 million to upkeep or restore their palace. They were not having it. So that changed a lot, okay? Because that is when Elizabeth decided. The Queen, the late Queen was like, okay, I think it's time to reinvent the image of royal family in the public's eye. So they opened up, they fund the project, and that was the year, I think, when they started paying voluntary income tax on their private earnings as well. Okay,
that woman is like, she's so smart, man. I give credit to her for that.
Probably her advisors.
Probably, yeah. But it's just, it just feels like every time she gets checkmate, there's always like a better solution to that.
I think she had to adapt, isn't it? Because she was not supposed to be queen anyway in the first place.
Yeah.
She just kind of got into
Destined.
it. Yeah. And then I was like, there was a lot that I didn't know, yeah? Like, her coronation is the first televised coronation in the royal history. Yeah? Not even, I think all over the world. That woman there, at 25, she became queen.
I know. Have you seen the pictures? It's mad.
She just looked like, come on, man, 25, you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be 25, like, and you got into this royal duty.
Yeah, this is why I'm so glad I'm a ordinary Becky, right? I keep giving Becky as an example, but do you know the point is like, I'm so glad I don't have responsibilities and duties that affect millions and billions of people for life. Okay? My one decision. That's it.
And not every move of yours is being watched by millions of people or judged by millions of people. The pressure, man. Honestly, like us, if we get recognized at an event, we're like, oh, yeah, hi.
Not
like,
you, me.
We're not really. I mean, we're not really, oh, hi, type of thing. We still get a bit awkward because we're not used to being recognized by a stranger. Imagine that woman. Oh, goodness. The things that she had to do. I mean, when I was vice president for 2 years.
You went to the garden party, no?
I did not have a personal life. To run a small organization, I did not have a personal life. I mean, imagine what the Queen did. Like, she probably didn't even have life.
I mean, you got invited to her garden party.
I mean,
did you meet the Queen actually?
Fun fact, yeah, I saw her.
Oh.
Like, I didn't actually shake hands with her because I was in the crowd, but she did walk past.
Yeah.
I mean, she was like, I would say, if I went a bit forward, she was touching distance.
Wow, that's so crazy. So that's 2 people I know. Well, actually, a few of naive people, like everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Charles was there. King Charles was there.
All hail King Charles.
King Charles, man, he is short.
Is he short?
He's short. He's shorter than what he looks in telly.
I feel like he looks taller because Queen Elizabeth is quite short herself.
Yeah.
So he looks like, tall. So because Queen Elizabeth looks about 5'5" to me.
Yeah.
In telly, but in real life,
like William and Harry, they got their height from Diana. They did not get their height from Charles. Like, they did not.
Sorry, Charles.
I was surprised. I would say Camilla is like tiny bit taller than
Charles.
Yeah. Honestly,
I wonder you don't see her wear heels often. Like, even when she wears, it's just like very tiny.
But anyway, you're not allowed to take photos of them while they're in the garden. But
was she graceful? Did she smell nice? Were you that close?
I mean,
to see?
I wasn't smelling distance. I was like seeing distance. So I would say she was like about 10 meters away from me.
That's so cool.
I mean, I saw her. So we're told all the guards, royal guards around here, it's like literally check everybody, like no photos, no whatever. And then Sheila, who I was there with,
yeah.
Basically, she sneaked a selfie. Cheeky woman.
With
She
the
literally, not Queen, Prince Charles. King Charles now. So King Charles was literally right in front of us. Sheila turned around and took a selfie with the king at the back. She bloody forgot to turn the I think
flash off?
Not flash, but
The sound.
no, I think the person in front of us forgot to turn the sound off of the camera. So the person in front was like, and then when the guard turned around, Sheila was like, but she got it anyway. She got the selfie.
Do you still have it? Do you still have it, Didi?
I have no idea, but
Man, that's some balls. I think I would just be in awe. I'd just be like, yo, this is crazy.
The guard saw us and he was like, but he didn't really do much. He was like, he wasn't that bad.
Oh my god, dude, the worst. I feel like there was this museum that I went to in London, and this artwork that I was taking pictures of, and then the people there, they were more stricter than that. They were like, can you delete that photo? I lost my phone that day anyway. So
really,
I'm just like, bro, why are you making such a big deal? The Queen, clearly the King don't mind. Who are you? But that's so cool. I would love to see them, like just to say I've seen them type of But wow. The closest I've been to is Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. That's it. I mean, I breathe the same air she breathes.
I was very surprised. You know, you queue up, you go in. I was expecting like searches, and everything. So basically, so to give people context, we went there because the organization that we were running won like the Queen's Voluntary Award, which is like the highest award a queen can give for voluntary services. So we went there. We were invited to garden party. 2 of us went. Before you go, you have to give names, full names and addresses and 5-year address history. So they vet you, okay? So they look up whatever the checks they do, and then a handwritten invitation arrives at your property.
You should have it.
You know, this is what happens when your family do not understand the value of things.
It's not with you?
I have a photo of it,
Bruh.
but literally it comes in a
Scroll.
no, hardboard, like like a cardboard type of material, but thick one, and it's like a handwritten invitation. Your name is handwritten on there, and it's like you hold it, and I'm like, this has come from the palace. You have your like
and
little.
you don't have it?
My mom, I think she threw it. Did not
Bruh.
know what it was. I was planning to frame it, but no. Anyway, if anybody wants to see that invitation, it's in my Instagram page. It's literally on there.
I'd be fuming.
I know.
I think in those terms, I think I'm quite thankful that my parents are very like, oh, it's needed. Like, they're just so extra.
I know.
They've got.
Yeah, they threw it.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
so sad.
so we queued up, right? And I was ready to be checked, ready to be patted down. The police looked at my invitation, looked at my ID, and then let us go in. And I was like, sorry, but you're not gonna search through my bag. Like, all we did was go through an X-ray.
That's
The
probably
airport.
why.
Went in, and then we went through, and then inside the Buckingham Palace, and we went in, and I was like, okay, at some point there'll be more security. And then next thing we knew, we went straight through to the garden, and I was like,
Maybe
what?
because it's like the X-ray machine, like probably like the airport one, kunta. So they obviously, if you can go through just that on an airplane, if you had some metal stuff, then maybe you would have packed down.
Yeah.
But I mean, considering it's the Queen's place and you're meant to preserve the posh environment, it's not very nice to.
But you do have like, I think snipers, I did see people like snipers probably on top of the palace, and then when they arrive, they announce it, and they come at the top of the stairs. Everybody's in the garden having tea, having their afternoon tea or pastries, whatever, and they come at the top of the stairs, and then they come down, and then the Queen walked in through the middle. The King Charles and Camilla they walked through here. We were right here. Queen went this way, the Charles went this way, and then Prince Harry and Prince William were not there. I was looking forward to them.
Bruh.
This was before William got married, though.
Yeah.
I think, or no.
No.
I think he was already married by then.
I don't think Harry was married.
No, not 2012. 2014 this was, I think.
This was after earthquake.
2014, 15. But
14
yeah, I think he was
earthquake,
already
I think
married.
15
Yeah.
now.
But I was looking forward to Prince Harry mostly. But yeah.
Yeah, he probably was like, oh, Mina's coming, maybe not. I should stay indoors.
Fuck off.
Oh, she threw the letter, not coming to greet her. Bro.
Right. Talking about Prince Harry, let's go back to his mom. Are you Team Diana or Team Royal Family?
Oh, that's very interesting. I think I'm Team Diana because I am the black sheep of the family. And I do believe in injustices, and as you may have known from this podcast, I'm all about, I don't care if I think it's right kalke person.
We talk about speaking up.
Yeah, and as a woman, I mean, fair enough, she chose to marry King Charles, but
she didn't know, man. Like,
yeah,
she was so innocent.
All that came through. I think Notting Hill, there's a cafe for Diana still.
Oh.
And it literally treasures of her, who she was as a person. in that cafe still, okay?
Oh, we need to go.
Yeah,
We need to go.
I think I'm not sure if I've been or if I. This was many years ago. This is probably like I'm talking 2014,
Yeah.
15 May. There's this cafe, literally British Museum Gay Line now, I think, and there's a Diana Kolagi. So the cafe is just her in a time frame, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm very very much Princess Diana.
Yeah.
What about you?
They bloody did her dirty, man. Obviously,
Hardcore. Team
Diana all the way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that woman was just so full of compassion and so. She's just full of inspiration, man.
Have you seen the documentary?
And I haven't seen the
Diana.
documentary. But I heard the whole speech by Earl Spencer at Diana's funeral, and that kind of perfectly described Diana. He described her as somebody who was naturally noble, not by birth but naturally noble, did not have the class, and she had the honesty to come out with her vulnerabilities, and she was so her way of reaching out to
The general
people
public.
with kindness, and especially the vulnerable people with kindness, was her way of relating to their hearts being broken and their them being seen as unworthiness. And he said that Diana could relate to a lot of that in her personal life.
Such
as
an
well. And I was
empath she was. Because like Malaite, it really touched me when she'd go to these refuge camps, okay? Not to say I'm the princess.
Yeah.
Very ordinary.
Yeah.
Literally wearing whatever she wore, like even when she went around India, Pakistan, she was wearing kurta surwal and things like that. No, I mean Queen Elizabeth did too, but she did not care like who she was touching. Gloves na laira, because they always wear like gloves.
She
and whatnot.
broke a lot of protocols, right?
And I think because of her, the others had it easier. Okay, like when Meghan came about, to me it was not much of a big deal. I was just like, well, she's just doing exactly what Diana's doing, but in the modern era type. I mean, it's a bit extreme of hers, but it's what it is. Like, if you believe, you just gotta stand up for it. And I like her as a woman for what she did. I mean, sadly, her death is still a conspiracy theory. Is it though? But
I mean,
it is.
I mean, I do believe she was killed. I just believe it.
I think we all know, but we all just don't say it.
Yeah, don't say it when you're not. There's no way of proving it.
It's literally like Nepal Royal Massacre.
Yeah.
No one knows. Everyone knows what happens, but no one has the evidence. Only now they've made that a museum, and I went in after they made into a museum.
Yeah.
So according to the maps, what you call it, like a floor plan they have.
Yeah.
It's not what it used to be. So they've completely changed the dynamics. So you can only see like some bullet shots outside, but that's about it. So inside, the entire dynamics has changed. I mean, my granddad says it's changed, so I assume it's changed.
Yeah.
So it's quite intense.
Oh my goodness.
So there's no evidence to prove. How can you prove? That's the highest level, right?
Yeah.
You can't say like you can't tell the ruler of your country you're shit, man.
And even if there was evidence, I'm sure it gets buried somewhere by somebody. Like they have the power to it.
And whoever gets the evidence, I'm pretty sure they get paid enough, so much that their 4 or 5 generations could live.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were that person, then why wouldn't you take that money? Like, you either die or your 5 generations can live comfortably. Like, what would you pick?
Exactly, isn't it? Oh, bless them. So you're team Harry and Meghan then, or not?
Oh, that is very controversial. Team Harry and Meghan. I don't know. I mean, I agree to some of the things that Meghan has done, but some of the things I'm just like her family using that as an advantage. I guess that's us judging as a public again, like, just because someone's so and so is this, that person is that, whatever. But you can't really, like, how do I say it? sometimes you just can't help but question, okay? Like, are you in it for real, or are you just like, is just clout, okay? Because her family clearly proved that they were just using the benefits of it, okay?
Yeah, but Megan is not really that much in good terms with her family, though, is she?
No. So
Yeah.
I can see where that's coming from as
Yeah.
well. I don't know, with the whole Meghan and Harry situation, so I'm a bit.
Yeah. I thought when they resigned from the position of royal family, I thought that was one of the bravest thing that any royal could do. Yeah.
Like, I wonder how much shit. I mean, Meghan, she has just come into it. I get it, you know. But for Harry, like that was his childhood to whatever he is up to now. He's always been a royal, okay, like from his birth. He's not been anyone but Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Do you know?
The amount of restrictions and the amount of duty, the amount of tradition that he had to uphold.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, he had his party days, you know, that was, you know, buried and all that. But I think
so did Prince William.
Meghan got. I know Meghan received a lot being a member of royal family, but also she equally got really. I mean, you can see how she was treated, right? You could see how she was treated, and she literally, you can tell. This is a thing. So Meghan was kind of accepted into the royal family, but also royal family did not make much effort in defending her when everybody else was being racist to her, everyone else being discriminating towards her. You know, when you accept somebody in your family, I feel like acceptance means you are ready to defend them if it's not their fault. Yeah. But the royal family always have this, what do you call it? This silence about those things. Okay, like even
especially when if they're not from the same background as them.
Yeah.
They don't really.
Yeah. I mean, Queen Elizabeth, look at her. Like, she came into throne right after, fresh off when the countries were being decolonized, and she stayed, and the whole royal family stayed silent about returning stolen artifacts, returning you know, things that were stolen from colonized countries.
Okay, if you still want to go to the British Museum, which is free, by the way, you will find plenty from Nepal and India, and you will recognize the architecture straight away, because you know it's one of a fucking kind. You can't find that anywhere else. You will find monuments, so please go ahead and go visit.
And that's one thing that I don't like about royal family. Okay? Like, they got rich off the back of colonies.
So this is where I wanted to come from, the colonization, when I sort of shared it earlier. So there was a video on TikTok this guy posted. I forgot what his name was, but he was saying like there are backlashes right now that the general public who are mourning for the Queen is just white people, and people of color are not really participating in it. Which is sort of true in my opinion, but again, you don't understand the sentiments of the colored people. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Nepal as a country, fair enough, we serve the Queen, so we are sort of like, you know, okay, Hamre got it type of. But if you're let's say from India, and you're from these countries that they were colonized, and you literally had to fucking fight for your independence.
Yeah.
So why would you mourn? Like, why would you cry outside Buckingham Palace not knowing to the lyrics of God Save the Queen? Why would you mourn on that? Like, if you think about it, and he was saying how he's a Palestine and how his granddad was shot right in front of the entire family because of the colonization. So how can he like preach and mourn a death of someone who partook in that?
Yeah.
So in his point, it makes perfectly fucking sense. So it's just like, rather than just telling people you should be mourning and you shouldn't be, you should like sort of understand their reasons behind it.
Exactly, especially when.
Is it? Yeah,
I think we're going to mic fully not in just there. Like, especially when, you know, the royal family have a habit of being silent about um, apologizing or defending like Meghan, those
Or
things
Diana,
they were,
even.
yeah, or Diana. I mean, they failed Diana miserably.
Yeah.
So from that mistake, they would have learned to protect Meghan a little bit. I mean, Harry literally, he said in an interview, he left because he did not want his wife to go through what his mother did.
Yeah, and that's so traumatic for him as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, Megan literally said in an interview with Oprah that how she was sort of not said you're black straight away, but made comments about, oh, are the kids' hair going to be curly, or what's going to be like that? The comments sinister. It's just those kind of comments is just like, I'm not trying to be rude, but
no, you know what it is like. I honestly, some of my white friends, sometimes they say things that is subconsciously racist to me.
Yeah, because they're a Tory, man.
I know, Tory, okay. They just genuinely don't know that was whatever they've said could be offensive to me. It's literally, and some of them say things that have undertones of racism or undertones of discrimination, but because they haven't had to go through that, they don't really understand how it could be offensive.
Yeah, like it's like the word N-word, right? Obviously only black people use that, no one else can, and you never should. I know, to be honest. They like to express themselves that's up to them. I know.
Yeah.
It's basically like saying Nepadiale Dolit one este, right? But that doesn't give you the right, just because it's a song, that you can sing the word.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just think it's okay because they're singing it. Oh, it's a part of the song. But that holds so much meaning to
the black community.
And of the whole slavery of American history and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's basically, it's just not. It's just not acceptable. And I feel like a lot of people need to be educated that things can be offensive to us as well.
Yeah.
It's just, there are plenty of things, to be fair.
Honestly, like, sometimes I just feel like, like, you guys don't even understand. So basically, I'll tell you about an example. So during COVID times, we had a lot of Nepalese come in. In the second surge, we had a lot of Nepalese. A lot of our patients, most of our patients were
I
Nepalese.
think when I was in hospital, there was a lot of
Nepalese, right? And some of the elderly communities, they don't know how to speak English. So what this, one of the senior members of our management, what she did was, I mean, I guess she did it in good faith. This is why I say they're unintentionally discriminating.
Yeah.
So in good faith, she wrote down on a piece of paper, oh, how are you? Would you like a bath? Would you like a wash? So general questions that you would ask them. She wrote it down, used Google Translate to translate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't even ask the staff.
Literally, I'm telling you, right? Look at your staff. Half of them are Nepalese. You could have just grabbed one of us, asked us whether that was correct or not. She literally translated that. And this is the thing, right? She did it with good faith and also probably to earn some respect that she was being diverse and respecting diversity and all that, or trying to be helpful. And she posted it and gave it to everybody in the email. Okay? And I confronted that. I said, like, one, was this spell checked or grammatically checked? Two, do you understand that this document that is designed for the elderly community, because young community can speak English, this designed for the elderly communities, do you even know that they have literacy issues, so they can't read? So before you came out with all this and gave it to your team, did you even check? Like, I get that you were trying to be sensitive and being respectful, but did you even check? Like, it's insensitive of her to not check with her Nepalese colleagues and Nepalese employees, whether that was appropriate or not. Yeah, this is what I think. Like white people, okay, I'm not trying to be racist, but they have the superior complex. Okay,
No, they do.
they have this. Okay, I am gonna do good for this community, but they forget to involve the members of that community in what they do.
Yeah, and then you need to ask if we like that or not.
Yeah,
I mean, fair enough, you did it. But some people might just find it like, why did they have to do it? Why didn't you just ask us? You know,
exactly.
like, for example, when I was in the hospital at the same time, we were, I was in an ICU department, and the bay next to me, this poor gentleman, he was Nepalese, and he couldn't speak much English. Yeah. And bear in mind, I'm with my CPAP fucking mask, and then this kind housekeeper, kind dinner lady, basically, she was so nice. She went extra mile. She learned how to say egg sandwich in Nepali. So she said anda sandwich because she knows like most Nepalese, they don't eat pork, they don't eat beef. You know, like they all have these dietary requirements, and egg everyone pretty much eats neither.
Yeah.
So she learned how to say that. So even though she didn't know, she couldn't explain anything what's on the menu, at least she know how to say anda sandwich. So she'd be like, anda sandwich, if you don't want, like, you got to eat something, right?
Yeah.
So I was happy to translate it to the next door uncle, mama. Like, he was quite old, but I just said mama out of respect.
Yeah.
And then I could hear initially he was like, bhat, I want rice mother one day. So I literally opened the curtain because it was tough times, man. There were no bays, okay? So I was like, I can translate for him. And then she was like, can you really? Because you're not well, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, don't mind. Like, I'm happy to help. So I translated for her, and she was very thankful. Next day, she was like, do you mind again? Like, you know. So she could have literally expected, oh, ele gordi halchani, because I technically offered to help me.
Yeah.
But the fact that she came the next day and said again, do you mind?
Yeah.
So that's the sort of what we are looking for. Like, just don't assume that we'll be happy with it. Just ask.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the whole thing, isn't it? Like, even often at times in some jobs, I have felt like I was just part of the diversity
quota.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, we have employees of ethnic backgrounds, but when it comes to decision making and all that, your ideas and your opinions are acknowledged but not really taken seriously, I guess.
That's like the whole thing about deciding for women but not having women in the parliament, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same thing. Like, you're just there for number count care.
Yeah.
So
anyway, we went into a whole injustice and racism.
I mean, it's sort of
discrimination.
involved.
Yeah.
Like, we linked it through Meghan and what she felt, and that is sort of like relatable.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I still remember I used to work at Tesco's when Meghan was married. Meghan married Harry, yeah. And obviously we sold newspapers, right? And then there were like old people, old generation, like oldies, I like to call them. Oh, this is bizarre. Because they could not accept the fact that there was a black person marrying the royals.
Into the family.
And that was just...
In this day and age, why is it questioned?
Exactly.
Why is it questioned? They talk so much about diversity. They talk so much about equality. But as simple as somebody marrying into the family, nah.
It's just a bunch of hypocrites, man. I think I was just us being born in the most hypocritical ethnicity of all, like being a South Asian is already hard enough that you have to deal with this like bullshit everywhere you go. You're just so scared, like,
honestly. And then I'm surprised at how many people badmouth Harry and Meghan for going on interviews and airing up. This is the thing, right? When you speak your truth, and especially if it's an unpopular opinion, it's still truth, Nita.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you get bad-mouthed for saying it, you know? And I really, really do not like that. It's like whenever, because I experience that quite a lot, okay? Like, you know, I go around and I will speak very unpopular things.
I mean,
but
our
it's
podcast
honest.
is that.
Yeah, our podcast is that. But we're being honest and we're speaking truth and we're keeping our opinions to everybody for, and whoever is open-minded will probably think about it.
And
But
we're not forcing it on you anyway. Like,
yeah,
if you don't
yeah,
want to listen, you can just switch us
yeah,
off.
exactly.
Like,
And then this whole media went about how it was so unclassy for Meghan and Harry to have this interview with Oprah. And I was like, Oprah is the classiest interview that you can have.
exactly.
They could have gone to some trashy magazine for a lot of
Fox
money.
News.
Yeah, they could have gone to Fox News, but they did it with a woman that is so respectful towards her interview and who always is honest and will always be. Oprah is known for that, isn't it? She's known for being honest. She's known for being for speaking up.
Oprah is just being Oprah. It's just like
exactly
Steve Jobs as they get. Steve Jobs as they get. And so Oprah did have her backlashes too, and with that comes change. She changed the way her shows operated.
Yeah.
She changed the way that it was just not numbers; it was quality. And there you go. That was some quality stuff. You could never have heard Harry's and Meghan's opinion on the UK news because BBC we pay for and is controlled by the Queen, if you like it or not.
Yeah.
So you would never heard anything bad about the royals ever in the UK unless it comes from an inside source.
Yeah.
And which we got delivered. If we hadn't been for that interview, we would have never known.
Yeah.
What the inside was, what Meghan felt inside the palace. That
exactly.
herself.
Oh my god, honestly. And it also brought highlight to how racist the British public can be. Like on mass media.
Oh my god, talk about British public. Okay, this is a very recent tiny incident, okay? So recently I went quad biking with my work colleagues and we were hungry, so we went to McDonald's.
Yeah.
As you do. And then McDonald's is just like a stop for everything.
Yeah.
So we went to McDonald's, we were eating, we minding our own biz, so we walked out. Two kids, like teenagers, they came up to us. So, they have the courage, okay, when you're like freshly adolescent, freshly puberting, the hormones are marinating. I cannot stand racism at all, okay? So this person, these two kids just came to us because we're a bunch of Asians, mind you, and all women, by the way. Ooh, stinks, yeah. That person, I'm not a confrontation person, like everyone knows this by now, I know.
Yeah.
That day, like I was just like, fuck you, bitch, you're fighting me. I was like, excuse me, what did you say? And he was like, I didn't say it, he said it, get our girlfriend. And they just started laughing and they walked away. I was like, yeah, I heard it from your mouth though. And then he went on saying, oh no, we didn't say anything. And I was like, and then Taka McDonald's the lady came, okay?
Yeah.
And she was like, what's going on? Like, are they troubling you? And well, these two kids are being racist to us, number one. And number two, they're saying it stinks. And I never said that. And I was just like, I never said that to you, were their words, okay? And I just, are you telling this lady's cleaning is not enough that her McDonald's stinks? Like, boy, at this point, to win the fucking argument.
Because that's how you win, though.
Exactly.
With kids like that, because there's no point having a logical argument with them. Yeah.
And with kids like that is because no one stood up.
Yeah.
No colored people stood up.
But when you stand up, they shrivel.
Exactly, because they know they're wrong. And then the lady who came, she was not from England as well. She was a foreigner.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved her. And she was so confused when I said, you're cleaning his shit on it. She's like, huh? Why am I in this mess? And I was like, are you telling this lady's cleaning his shit or are you telling we are smelly? And then they were like quiet. They were proper red. And then she was like, you're not even buying anything. Get the fuck out. Yeah. And classic cherry on top was, as we were walking down, my friend's husband is black.
Yeah.
He literally looked at them. So about like, if a black person if there's a racist comment going on, if a black person is involved, that's shit show basically.
Yeah.
And he just literally stared at them, and that's it. End of. We just walked out in class. And please stand up for yourself. It has to be done. Like we are done. We are done being shamed for what we are, for our color,
for unpopular opinion that needs to be spoken about.
Exactly. Like if they want to show culture appreciation, they need to fucking accept everything that comes with the culture, not just the best parts. They can't just select the curry they like and not accept the brownness and the smelliness that comes with the curry. Like, not that
or the immigration that built the fucking country.
Exactly. I mean, like if it wasn't for the colonization, I'm really sorry, but Britain,
Exactly.
I mean, thank you for like having us, really, but really thank you for
Yeah.
us doing the job.
Exactly, honestly. And like even now the prime minister thing, like up to the runoff of it, they were like showing Rishi Sunak and a few Asians who could be prime minister, and then comes Liz Truss. And then Liz Truss cabinet is like, oh, diversity, diversity, diversity. Yeah, you are never gonna give the top job to an
Anyone.
ethnic minority, but
And the fact that okay, they both have their good points, they both had their bad points, and I'm not supporting either of two,
yeah.
but it's like, how do I say it? I would rather trust a person who's very stern in his decision rather than someone who gets swayed like left, right, and center again. Malaite, not shading on you, but there was this meme, yeah.
Oh.
Because Liz Truss, after she got,
Yeah.
after she became the prime minister, like, Queen Elizabeth died a few days later. Neither.
Yeah.
So there was this meme
Oh, no.
saying there could
Oh,
only
no.
be one Liz in the country.
Oh shit.
It's bad. If your humor is not dark, it's not for you. But I shouldn't be laughing, but it was
Ooh.
it was very peak.
Anyway, there are very controversies about there are a lot of controversies about
There's
royal
always going to
family
be a
and
lot of
whether-
controversy
yeah.
about royal family everywhere, but we'll never get exposed there.
What do you think is the advantage of having a royal family, though?
To be perfectly honest,
Mm.
I don't see any, but I do not see any either. So to me, like, whether there is a monarch or whether there is not, it doesn't really much make difference in this country anyway, because
Yeah.
there are presidents, there are prime ministers and stuff like that, right? But if it was Nepal,
Yeah.
you could see like the head to toe difference when there was monarchy and when there wasn't. But in this country, it's, I don't know, like, I don't really, because maybe my background is like Nepal, and then I sort of compare to the politics there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's just like the massive dynamic shift. So to me, I'm just like, what's the point? Why need no bunny?
Yeah. Like I thought I could not think of any advantage of royal family, but then when I was doing my research, I stumbled upon a few points, and I was like, actually, that does make sense. Like you said, dynamic change and so on.
Yeah.
Apparently, royal family, a country with royal family, what royal family and monarchy does is that they may not have political power, but what it does is bring a little bit of stability, not a lot of stability in the political change, right? Yeah? So, like, how in this country there's like tiny incremental changes, but there's not really like a Trump and a
Dynamic.
Barack Obama type go.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't go from one extreme to the another. Like Hamro,
Nepal.
in Nepal, as soon as until King Brinder was there was not like it was shit. That it wasn't like as shit as it is now.
I mean, let's be honest, there was no Maoist there.
Yeah.
Communist, I get it.
Exactly.
Like, it was just like, conservative.
Yeah.
Until, but
Exactly.
that was it.
That's one of the main roles of monarchy. Okay.
Okay.
What they do is they stabilize the political changes. I mean, they do have some level of influence, and I mean, they say they may not, but they do.
Yeah, of course they do.
They may not have the power, but they do stabilize. Okay, tiny incremental changes around it. Okay, but not. It stops, kind of prevents them from having a whole, like one extreme to the other. That's why our country is now. It avoids factionalism or tribalism. Right? You know how in Nepal, like, they were even talking about dividing places according to tribes and factions and caste and everything. And this sort of a lot of avoid girls, like, especially like I think they were given an example of Afghanistan when whatever was happened. If the king of Afghanistan had still been enthroned, then whatever happened later on with the terrorists and the factionalism and the tribal leaders coming up and fighting left, right, center among themselves, that could have been avoided or that could have been prevented. Okay, so I think that's, I guess, a valid point that monarchy does bring a little bit of stability.
I guess that's actually a huge point if you're looking at Contico Democrats and the political stability, because
Mm.
let's be honest, it's so crucial. Yeah,
Mm.
like I never knew how important politics was until like a few years ago. Really, like I
Yeah.
never really paid attention. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's just shit type. Okay, and how important voting is and etc. You don't get taught this in school. But
Yeah.
interesting though,
Yeah.
like when I studied here,
Uh-huh.
they never really mentioned of what the royals did.
Oh.
You know,
Okay.
like Nepal
Yeah.
ma, you say in Nepal ma, when you were studying, Nepal ma, when we were studying, we learnt about the royals here,
Yeah.
like British go and how they took over India and etc. etc.
Yeah.
How they
Yeah.
couldn't take Nepal and how Nepal was unified and everything. But
Basically, history from their eyes.
yeah, होइन तर छन् त
Yeah.
तर यहाँ चाहिँ त्यो पनि छैन क्या, like nothing.
Yeah.
Unless
It is.
it's just like
This is it.
This is it type. Okay, so there's no like I mean, whatever country you go to, they will just say, they will say it from your eyes, you know. But you know,
Yeah.
like what they try to do, and then there were things like, because of the colonization, India has a lot of nice schools,
Yeah.
etc., which you can't just deny it. They did, or not.
Oh.
So like there's nothing like what we have done, like how much we have hurt people. This
How much the I think they talk about how Britain at one point ruled most of the world, but I don't think they talk about
what they stole.
what they stole, what kind of discrimination, what kind of war crimes they did on people, you know?
They just didn't just steal things. They just had
They
all
raped,
level
they
of
looted.
abuse. Everything. You see like so many people across Asia that look half European, half Asian, especially around Pakistan.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. Okay, where are you from?
They to this day we still live the after effects of colonization. Yeah?
Exactly.
Like I was reading up on this and I was like, okay, this is eye opening. Yeah? So in India, right? You know how South Asian countries where like we have high blood pressure, diabetes. Yeah,
We're just born with it, half
yeah,
and half.
half and half and half. Okay, during the colonization period, the diet that was available to Hammer people was heavy in carbs, was heavy in sugar, okay, because that were what was the cheapest, or what, like, we're at bottom of the pile basically. So that's how it, our forefathers grew up eating that, and then from that went on from genetically passed on. So we are still
the byproduct of it.
Exactly, but we don't really realize it, right?
No, I completely agree. Like us as Nepal, we never got colonized, but I mean, is that something to be proud of? Because I mean, it is and it isn't at the same time, because everyone around you were.
Yeah.
So you're a landlocked country. You heavily rely on the resources around you. So you were deprived at one point because of whatever happened in the world. And it's a world war, for God's sake. Like, you're rich enough to fund it. Yeah, no. Oh man, we could go on and on about this.
I mean, royal family also has this level of influence that no other democratically elected leader has, right? So, to give you an example, World War II. World War II, the Emperor of Japan, he advocated for the military to stop, despite against military's wish. So that saved a lot of lives. He literally advocated for the war to stop and to Japan's military to attack. And that's how that was like the start of the end of World War, in the Second World War. And that saved a lot of life. The royal family they may not have power, but they have so much influence over decisions.
They do. Like even let's be honest, if you're gonna, how do I say it? I recently naturalized myself, right? And I had to pledge to the Queen.
Yeah.
So when my dad became an army, he had to pledge to the Queen to serve. So everything you do, you have to pledge to the Queen. So how can you say it's not relevant? It's everything is there.
Mary, I just thought You pledged to the queen, man, not the king.
Exactly. I was the last batch.
Oh, shit.
I was the last batch. So I can...
History.
I was the last batch.
History, Mary.
We were literally like, I literally just sent my documents for my passport out like this week. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
But you know what?
I pledged to the queen. I didn't pledge to the king.
I think when you get your passport, I think it will be
King.
His Majesty. No,
But
Her
I didn't
Majesty.
pledge to him though. My queen is gone. My queen is long
The
gone.
goddess. Oh
No,
no.
but honestly, man, the whole I find it quite interesting. Not gonna lie, even like in the past, even Nepal history, I found it quite interesting. Like when I went to Gorkha with my parents, my mom, there's a mandir up in Gorkha. You have to walk like so many steps for.
Yeah.
My mom took us there. I wasn't really keen on that, but I was keen on the museum that was up there.
Oh.
And you just read in books like how deep it was, Dunga Palekwa and all that.
Yeah.
And you see, oh my god, it's actually really steep. Like I wouldn't go there. But then in India as well, the fort is massive, so I don't know how they managed to colonize from there. But you know, we move.
Oh no. Honestly, honestly, royal family, I still don't know whether I want them or no. I don't want them. I don't think I mind them.
I think I'm 50-50 on it. And I'm sad the queen is gone. Let's be honest, man. That woman, regardless of whatever the history, blah blah blah, she's done.
She was
the
an
sinister
icon.
things.
Yeah.
She was Elizabeth from the day she was born till the day till she died. The same gracefulness, same the way her witty comments, or I think I lived for that. Yeah. And her love for dogs, and I think that was my highlights basically. So there's
I mean, 15 prime ministers came and went.
I mean,
during
how many
her
of them
time.
are alive?
To be honest, she ruled for 70 years, yeah?
Exactly, yeah.
I think some people who lived less than 70 years, that was the only monarch they saw.
Exactly.
What?
Did you know? My mom told me, yeah, when she was in Nepal, when Elizabeth came to Nepal, they welcomed her. So basically, there's this whole massive stadium in Nepal called Rangasala, the only stadium we have. Why am I saying this massive stadium like we have O2 Wembley? Anyway.
No, only stadium. Please just say this.
No, only stadium we have.
Stadium,
So,
she landed in the only airport, in the only international airport, and she went to the only stadium we have.
Only Nepal Dasarath Stadium. Anyway, she went there, and then my mom were like the part of Nepal ko flag banane team. You know that? Do you get it? So you're in the stadium, you're like...
they do the dance and they do the display in the crowd, yeah.
So they were the welcomers and then they were the displayers. And she's like, I saw the queen. It's like, I mean, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But then to be fair, I haven't even seen the queen, so that's like an iconic moment.
Sorry, I don't belong in that group.
But
I'm
the last batch that pledged to the queen, eh?
Just somehow, somehow
relevant. No, but I would have loved to see her in my lifetime, just for the icon she is.
Yeah.
Other than her, I don't think I'm really interested in any of the royal families, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not excited about any other ones.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, what are you doing?
I am deflated about Charles. Like, I mean, William as well. Ugh, I mean, I used to like William until this whole Harry Meghan stuff happened. But you never know what happened between them. You know, he said, she said, like that. Anyway,
I mean, I quite like Kate for her fashion sense, but that's about you just see and you're like, ooh, what are you wearing?
Reduced down to fashion
no,
sense.
Like, I'm not really interested in regardless of whatever they do. Like, be their monarch, be not. Oh, another sad thing. We won't have, like, train stations mark the Queen's birthday anymore. That's actually quite... So these are... Oh, okay. Maybe it is a bit sad. And then you won't have, like...
You know, like...
Oh my gosh, she passed away after a Jubilee.
Yeah.
And then the Elizabeth Jubilee line as well. So it ran in a lifetime. Bro, this woman is done... She literally lived for this.
The impact that she had. That it feels weird to not have a queen and to have a king.
So like, now you have to sing God Save the Queen. God Save the King.
Queen.
Still I think there's a queen.
Still trying to be like, I don't want to.
Like, how disappointing is it the British public didn't know God Save the Queen? That's just iconic. Like, if something happens to Nepal, for example, and then someone sings the national anthem,
I mean,
I bet everyone would.
all
echo
I'm
it,
gonna
like,
say is all these patriotic British people who think this country is there and the immigrants should go back to their country, if they did half as much as the immigrants have done for this country, they were like, what did you do to earn the right to call this your country and be so patriotic about it? Okay, you were born in the other side of the border. That's all you did.
I mean, you were just born in the better side of the world.
Yeah, that's
Like,
all you
let's
did.
be honest. If you go to the NHS, all the doctors are Indians. If you go to the pharmacy, it's either Indians, Iranians, or Pakistanis, or some sort of brown people.
I'm sorry, but Liz Kay underneath here, everybody's ethnic.
Even Liz herself, she's half something, isn't she?
Is she?
She's half European something.
Well, she's white enough to be the prime
I mean,
minister
she's
of
white.
UK.
Yeah.
So
I
basically,
mean, still Europe by like the
top man British, all her underlings ethnic.
exactly. All the tech
That's how it
companies.
is, love.
Kam गर्ने कालु, मकै खाने बालु.
Balu.
That's what it is called.
She called the prime minister Bal.
No, but that's the
Anyway,
saying.
I am not.
No, that's the saying though. You're making it like twisted wrong way, but that's how it says.
You know what I do. You know. Why are you surprised anymore?
Too Well, maybe I
Gosh.
did. I don't know, because we are going to be paying for the taxes for the rest of our lifetime and our grandchildren's lifetime. Because how is she gonna fund it? From what pocket?
I mean, I like the fact that the rate of tax has been reduced. So I mean, the 20% bracket has been increased. So we do save a little bit of that. But at the same time, this energy bill is like breaking my back.
I mean, she said she would cut it down. I get it. I understand that. Tara.
We'll
How
see.
long is this gonna go for?
We'll
I would
see.
love it, but
I mean, Ukraine warले energy low भएर त के भन्छ बढाएको भन्छ, but the energy companies are still profiteering. So
do we
I don't
even
know.
rely on the Ukraine energy though? Like, जे पनि Ukraine word भन्दै भयो.
धेरै ताते close the podcast now.
नेपालको भिसा किन लागेन युक्रेन वार, एनर्जी बिल किन युक्रेन वार, तेल किन छैन सुपरमार्केटमा युक्रेन वार, जे भन्दै नि भयो. हामी त हेरेको हेरे. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this podcast and let us know, are you pro monarch or against it? Should the queen monarch go? She's no longer here.
Oh no, honestly it feels weird.
It feels weird. I think we both share that sentiment. It feels weird, but we are both not pro or against it, no? I think after this podcast I feel like I'm more against it than I was pro. But save it for another day.
I know.
Anyway, see you on the next one.
Bye.